Oshkosh Media is government programming on GovTV, community programming on Life TV, and community radio on Oshkosh FM 101.9.
Welcome to the City Manager's Report, a look at city updates and a preview of the next Oshkosh Common Council meeting agenda.
And thanks for joining us for another edition of the City Manager's Report. I'm Andy Radig, and in a moment we'll be joined by Assistant City Manager John Fitzpatrick. As usual, in the first half of today's show, we'll have some municipal news updates, including items from city departments and things happening in Oshkosh. In the second half, we'll highlight items from the upcoming Tuesday, October 24th, Oshkosh Common Council meeting agenda. And with that, we bring in our Assistant City Manager, John Fitzpatrick. John, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Andy.
Appreciate you being here. All right, well, we'll dive right in. We have some updates, and normally we talk about some road construction things at the very beginning. One item that we've been talking about a little bit on the show, and we'd just like to give another update on it, is that road that runs through Menominee Park. It's being reconstructed, but some archaeological finds were made at that location. And just a quick update. You know, we know that the work is ongoing by the archaeologists, and just that essentially the work continues.
Right, absolutely, Andy. It's something that I know has also been covered in the news a little bit. But yes, you know, we enjoy a lot of natural beauty here, living in Oshkosh, and you know, our proximity of our community near the water, and because of that, and because of our awareness associated with the history of these lands, you know, we need to acknowledge, you know, what took place before.
Right.
What we have constructed here, and fortunately we have a great relationship with UW-Milwaukee and their archaeological department, and also the Native American tribes that you know, have previously been settled here, mm-hmm. and you know, also have special interest in, and we certainly have special respect for that history. Mm-hmm. So we've been working very closely with several tribes, mm-hmm. as well as UW-Milwaukee, to try to make sure that we could go through this process and improve this road that everyone likes to enjoy, right, inside the park, but also respect the history associated with this land that took place before that road was constructed. So mm-hmm. It's a process. It's going to take quite some time, I think, before we arrive at a final outcome for all this. But the important component, I think, that citizens should know is, you know, we need to just be careful and respectful mm-hmm. with what we do, and in order to, you know, consider everybody's feelings associated with this project mm-hmm. and the land.
Right. And so we really don't know exactly at this point how long this whole process will take. So stay tuned. We'll keep updating folks and let them know where we're at.
Right. But I think the work that the archaeologists are doing, and also our dialogue with the tribes, is very, very helpful about, you know, how important these issues may be, what actually is being found in these areas, and then you know, how to address that and how to best deal with that.
Right,
so
right.
It's a complex process, but I feel good about our ability with the assistance of our partners to address these issues.
Okay, very good. All right. Well, you know, speaking of transportation and moving around the city, we wanted to note that Go Transit was awarded a grant to continue their Access to Jobs program. And they applied for and were awarded the grant, and this will allow them to continue to offer expanded eligibility for the program for our local residents.
Right. This is something that I know Go Transit has been involved in for quite some time.
Right.
You know, the idea of how can we serve people who need to utilize our transit system to get to the jobs that they have mm-hmm.
Been
employed by. So it's I think going to help in addition to some of the ideas that we've explored in the past, I think having this funding will hopefully provide an opportunity for us to, consider other options. But, we're always trying to serve the public in every way we can. And this is certainly an issue that has been on Go Transit's radar for quite some time.
Right. The program is designed to allow for low-income individuals working at least 30 hours a week or more to have access to their employment when they're not able to utilize transit service.
Right, and it's my understanding that the program has provided I think over 750 rides a month, approximately, to residents this past year.
That's right. So it's a great program. Glad that it can continue, and we'll get more updates from Go Transit as they continue to implement this.
Right.
Okay. We also want to note for our residents that the curbside loose leaf pickup is currently underway. And just a reminder for folks that those leaves will be picked up on typically the day after their garbage pickup.
Right. This is an annual occurrence. I know you're very familiar with it, Andy, and so am I. And, we ask people to just do some things to make sure that this pickup is safe. It looks like in our graphic here we have just leaves only, no grass, brush, garden plants. Put in the leaves on the terrace. That's really, people might not understand why that's important, but unfortunately, if people put the leaves in the roadway and we have some rain, that can make its way to Lake Winnebago.
Right.
Also, for the safety of a lot of children, kids like to play in the leaves. And if they're playing in those leaves and the leaves are in the road, that can be a dangerous situation too. So if you can, have these leaves placed on the terrace, like the video that we're watching right now, it's going to be most efficient. I know that they try to continue to pick up leaves all the way until it gets to be a snow situation, so they'll make several passes if they can. But the sooner you can get some of these out, the better. And we'll do our best to try to pick up as many as we can.
Right. Loose leaf collection does end the week of November 13th through the 17th. So if folks can get everything out there before then, that would be appreciated. And if there are any questions, folks can contact the Oshkosh Sanitation Office for more information at 920-232-5383 for more details. And the city's website will have some information there as well.
Right.
So, okay. Then also, John, we wanted to highlight the Oshkosh Public Museum is having their second annual Dia de los Muertos celebration, and that's coming up on Saturday, October 28th. This is their second time doing this, and it looks to be a great event.
Yeah, I think the attendance for the first one was really exceeded everybody's expectations. I know the museum is, very much engaged in trying to provide additional educational opportunities for the community. They have, forged some new partnerships with the Oshkosh Area School District. But, this is a community-focused event. The idea is for people to come out, learn a little bit about culturally the importance of this day. I think there's going to be some food out there. There's going to be some music out there, and dancing opportunities. So. If you're looking for an opportunity to get out a little bit with your family, I think it would be a great event for everybody to experience. If you haven't participated last year, and even if you have, you can come back again this year.
Sure. And thanks to the Taqueria restaurant, it's free admission on that day for everybody. So,
right.
So that is fantastic.
I think it's also, aren't they also going to have a free showing of the Disney Pixar's Coco?
That's right. Yeah, that movie by Disney, Coco, will be shown at the Time Community Theater, and kind of an added bonus if folks would like to take advantage of the Spanish language version of that.
Right.
That matinee is at 2 p.m. on October 28th, and also the English language version at 7 p.m. that same day.
No, I think it'll be a very, very fun event.
And for more details, OshkoshMuseum.org has everything and more about this whole thing. So please take a look and learn a little bit more about Dia de los Muertos on October 28th. Okay. Over at the Oshkosh Public Library, they're kind of getting into the whole season of Halloween here coming up, and they are having a 2-sentence horror story contest, and that will allow their participants that are involved in it to craft their spookiest narratives for entering this, and it's just 2 sentences. And that's what folks have to come up with is 2 sentences, and they can enter the contest.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't. I don't think it'll take a lot of time, but I think it's a great activity that OPL is providing an opportunity for people to participate in, and it's my understanding that they'll be accepted from October 1st to the 23rd. So there's still some time to get that in, and I think the prizes will be awarded to one winner. And I think, don't they have 2 age divisions, Andy?
There are 2 age divisions this year. It's ages 13 to 17 and 18 and older. So that means adults can also submit an entry.
Good.
Yeah. So Oshkosh Public Oshkosh Public Library's website will have more information about all of this and how you can enter the contest. But they're encouraging folks to get their spookiest narratives submitted with 2 sentences. So something kind of fun.
Yes.
All right. Also, this is maybe a little bit self-serving, but October 20th is designated as Community Media Day in the state of Wisconsin. Actually, the governor has signed a proclamation that says that and recognizes it. So it's an annual celebration that brings awareness to the importance of local media in our Wisconsin communities.
Yeah, it is a little self-serving, but you know what? I think, I know you're very modest about all the work that Oshkosh Media does, but we're certainly very proud of our effort to outreach to the community, and I know that, and people may not be aware that, Oshkosh Media has served the Oshkosh community since 1987. So it's been quite a while, and all the opportunities that are available to the community, as well as providing transparency into government and, community activities. It's really a great resource, and I'm very proud to, have a small part of it. But yes, it's gratifying to see that the governor is providing this proclamation, and we'll just keep doing what we're doing. Right, Andy?
Absolutely, and we'll have some more information on our Oshkosh Media Facebook page about this, and just to bring awareness that community media is important across the state.
It is.
But very important here in Oshkosh.
Absolutely.
All right. So we also wanted to do a housekeeping announcement that our departments are very proactive in doing training and doing in-service training. Sometimes, unfortunately, that involves a little bit of customer service closure of their desk for customer service on those days. But the city clerk's office will be doing some in-service training on Friday, November 10th.
Right. It's my understanding, too, that the subject they're going to be working on is elections. So we have some very important elections that are going to be upcoming, and there are a variety of things that are new all the time that the city clerk's office and the employees need to be aware of. So yes, that day is going to be set aside for folks to make sure that they can participate in this important in-service training.
That's right. Friday, November 10th. City clerk's office will not be available, but they will be open again the following Monday.
Right.
All right. And then everybody asks, what are the trick-or-treat hours in Oshkosh? And they are on a weekday this year. It's on a Tuesday, so the hours are 5 to 7 p.m.
Right. I think the important thing for people to keep in mind, and we'll certainly provide information every year, but we have traditionally had trick-or-treating on October 31st. So that's the first thing to remember. And then if it falls on a weekend, it's 4 to 7. If it falls on a weekday, it's 5 to 7.
Right.
Just to give people an opportunity to get home from work, on a weekday, and before all the kids show up for trick-or-treating. So, yeah, it's a pretty simple process, but I know it's not at the top of everyone's mind every year, so we're happy to remind people.
Right. Okay. And then we also, before we take a brief break here, we wanted to note that our city manager, Roloff, as well as our finance director, Russ Van Gompel, have received some distinguished service awards from really an international organization.
Right, and I talked about modesty a little bit earlier, and I'm glad that I have the opportunity to fill in for City Manager Roloff today, because I think if it were up to him, he wouldn't be speaking about this award that he received, and also our finance director, Russ Van Gompel, received, and it's for distinguished service. And just to give you an idea, the awards they received were from the International City County Management Association, and it's a very prestigious achievement. It's a lifetime dedication award, dedication to local communities and advancing the field of public administration. And City Manager Roloff and Finance Director Van Gompel each received Distinguished Service Awards for 40 years of public service in local government. That's not combined, that's
Each
individually, each one of them, right. So needless to say, we're very proud of them, and we're very fortunate to work with the caliber of people that they are, and all the experience and dedication that they bring to the city of Oshkosh, as well as working with all of our employees. They're a tremendous resource inside the organization and outside the organization, and are very well respected in their discipline. So congratulations to both of them.
And this award certainly recognizes them for their great dedication to service, that they've been dedicated for a number of years here.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, John, I think that's about what we have for the first half of our show, and it's time for us to take a short break. Stay with us for highlights from the upcoming Common Council meeting agenda, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the City Manager's Report. I'm Andy Radig, along with Assistant City Manager John Fitzpatrick. Let's turn our attention to the agenda items from the upcoming October 24th Oshkosh Common Council meeting. And John, it looks like we have in our consent agenda, there's an item, we're continuing to try to enhance our river walk. And it looks like we're submitting a grant application to continue to try to do that.
Right. I think people have expressed their approval of the Riverwalk. I mean, we've had a lot of community members just say, hey, we love it, and we're glad that you've undertaken this project. It's something that's been a long planned initiative, and community members were involved when at the inception of the idea, and we're getting closer to completing the entire project. And one of the things that we do at the city all the time is try to explore ways where we can minimize the tax impact to the community. And a way to do that is to explore all possible opportunities with grants. And this particular initiative has to do with a transportation alternative program grant. And it's done in conjunction with the Wisconsin Department of Transportation. And we've been very fortunate to receive quite a few grants from the Wisconsin Department of Transportation, because they're very interested in multimodal transportation, meaning roads, water, walking, biking. So that's a focus for them, as well as the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources. And because we have done a lot of renewal projects with our community development department and reclaimed a lot of the areas that were industrialized along our waterfront, we have property that is available to be utilized pretty readily. And when grants are, when decisions are made about grants, the people that manage those grants, they have to think about, well, if we provide these monies to this community, what are they going to do with them, and how long is it going to take for them to get to these projects? And the fact that we are ready and waiting to do some of these things and have plans ready to facilitate this really gives us a very strong opportunity to garner these grants. And again, the DOT, the DNR, they've been good partners for us for quite some time, but I think they appreciate that we are poised and ready to do these things for the betterment of our community and the benefit of our citizenry.
Right, right. And we're looking to enhance the area that we just saw on the screen there a little bit, down by Pioneer Island, the railroad tracks area,
Right.
and see what enhancements can possibly be done.
Yeah, that is one of the final areas. So we'll keep our fingers crossed that they continue to support us.
Okay, very good. Then we have another item. We're looking at an agreement for tourism services with the Oshkosh Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Right, and I focus primarily on our citizenry with the Riverwalk, but I think we have a great partnership with the Oshkosh Convention and Visitors Bureau to provide opportunities for people that are not as fortunate to be our citizens to come to Oshkosh and enjoy everything that it has to offer. And we can see some video, some promotional video that the CVB has developed. I think they've done a really great job with that.
And it's their recent rebranding as well.
Yes, right. And I think Oshkosh is evolved over time. We certainly are proud of our history, but I think people's perspective of Oshkosh has really changed. I think from maybe an industrialized community to a community that can really serve all segments of the population and people that don't happen to be fortunate enough to live in Oshkosh. It's a great place to come and visit.
Absolutely, and not only for visitors to come, but for our own residents to get out there and enjoy what they have here.
We're very lucky to live here, and I certainly talk about that with my family all the time. People come here to visit, and we are fortunate enough to live here all the time.
Absolutely.
So it's really great.
Okay, very good. Then we also have a pending ordinance, and this item is looking at a property located at 425 North Washburn Street.
Right. And the reason I thought it was important for us to discuss this item is we ordinarily utilize our boards and commissions for direction. In this one, there was some controversy associated with it. It was because I think the Plan Commission understood the desire and need for allowing this nonprofit to expand. But the location that they're looking at is on the 41 corridor. And although we respect the desire for this nonprofit to want to expand beyond where they ordinarily are located, one of the responsibilities the city has is to try to find the highest and best use for all of the properties inside our community. And so with a nonprofit seeking to locate on our frontage road, it may not be the highest and best use of that property. There may be a variety of other developers that may want to use that property. And then the revenue that can be generated from a taxable development can help offset the costs to our citizenry. So that helps keep the tax rate down and things like that. So I think it's certainly we don't begrudge this nonprofit for wanting to develop, but staff is not recommending that this be approved for those reasons, to try to make sure that we use this property for the highest and best use.
Okay.
So that is an item on the agenda for Tuesday.
Okay, all right. Thanks for that update on that one. Then we also have new resolutions, and one of those is for a potential new business, I believe a restaurant, and this is to approve their development plan for a property on the corner of northwest corner of Jackson Street and West Snell Road.
Right, and this is a bit of a unique property. I think it's other businesses have used this methodology in larger communities, but it's a total drive-through restaurant, and the plan for this particular restaurant is to provide Mediterranean food to the community, but it has touchscreen ordering and is only drive-through. Mm-hmm. So I think it's something that's a little bit new.
And I think an app as well.
Yes, yeah. I think it's a little bit new to the Oshkosh area and community, but I think it's exciting for our citizenry to have another opportunity to dabble in some unique food.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a new opportunity for everybody. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
All right. And then we have an item as well relating to a multifamily development over at Lake Butamore Drive, and this is being brought forward again.
Right, and to refresh people's memory, in the past when this was approved, the developers originally wanted to have an additional story on the development, mm-hmm. and I think council thought that it might be recommended that it remove that top story. Mm-hmm. And I think since that time there's been additional dialogue and research associated with what the council has recommended, and I think before going forward with anything, I think the thought process was that there should be, maybe it might be good to revisit this and see if that is the right way to go, if we should take a look at what was originally proposed, mm-hmm. and then what are the pros and cons associated with that. So that's what this is intended to do, to try to provide direction to staff about this particular development.
Okay, and the discussion continues.
Right.
Okay. Then we also wanted to note that we are very deep into our budget discussion time here, and we have some future workshops coming up on October 30th and 31st, and those are kind of like all-day marathons, I think.
They are. It's an opportunity for the departments to sit down with our council members and talk about some of the hopes and dreams that they have, different projects, how they're doing, what they'd like to see accomplished going forward in the future, and how it might dovetail with our strategic plan. And mm-hmm. So it's a good chance for shared dialogue between elected officials and staff, and that's going to take place, I think, on the 30th and 31st from 8 to 4:30.
And those will be televised as well, so so folks can check those out, right, and learn all the details. Okay. And then we also want to recognize that there are some new neighborhood associations. So we have a couple that we're looking at.
Right, and I think people are familiar now with the neighborhood associations in the community, and the idea behind those is to try to make sure that neighbors are engaged, know each other, take ownership with their particular neighborhood, and mm-hmm. so we can try to improve them and make them what they want them to be. Mm-hmm. So I believe we have upwards of 25 neighborhood associations now, Andy, mm-hmm. with the addition of these two, Quarry Park Neighborhood Association and now Sawyer Creek Neighborhood Association.
Mm-hmm. And so we've got a little graphic there that shows these areas.
Right,
so.
Yeah, no, I think it's good, and I think people like the opportunity to get together and talk about how they can make their neighborhood better, and we certainly support that.
Mm-hmm. And folks can actually, if they're interested in starting a neighborhood or association, they can go to the city's website, and there's information there on how they can get that whole process started.
Right. I think it's been a success story for community development, and I think they certainly look forward to working with each and every neighborhood to try to improve it.
Mm-hmm. And if you live in a neighborhood association, get involved. I'm sure they're always actively looking for folks to take part in their meetings and discussions, and can go from there.
Right.
So, okay. Well, John, I think that's about the time that we have today. We really appreciate you filling in and for all your insights.
Thank you, Andy.
All right, and thank you for joining us today. We appreciate that you took the time to look in on our show today. Again, that Common Council meeting is at 6 p.m. this Tuesday, October 24th at City Hall, 215 Church Avenue. You can watch it live on GovTV, which is Spectrum Channel 10, UVerse Channel 99, and streaming on YouTube and OshkoshMedia.org. Or you can listen on the radio, Oshkosh FM 101.9, which is online and on the TuneIn Radio app. So join us again in 3 weeks for another City Managers Report. Thanks for watching.